Hey everyone, I'm Brenda Flanders with Utah Sport Karate League. We are here with another competitor highlight. Today's highlight is going to be with Nina. Nina is currently training with Echo Martial Arts. And if I have this correct, you are a brown belt, correct?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for spending some time with me today. I appreciate you jumping on here and doing this interview. We're always excited to interview our current competitors. And you and your school have been great supporters of the Utah Sport Karate League and the tournaments that are being hosted within that. So I appreciate all your support and certainly love seeing you out there on the mat competing and giving it your best. I really appreciate you taking this time to speak with me.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out to me. This is a great opportunity for me. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, no problem. We're always interested in highlighting top competitors. So let's get on to it. So first question, how many years have you been training over there at Echo Martial Arts?
Well, I don't know how many people know this, but Echo Martial Arts is a really new studio. Before we used to be Winter School Karate, and I was at Winter School Karate since I was 4 years old.
Wow.
So I have been training for around 13 years at both Winter School and Echo Martial Arts.
Very cool. So I'm glad you did mention that. I was aware that you guys were Winter School for a really long time, and now you guys are in your own studio with Echo Martial Arts. Is there much change that's happened since you guys have switched over?
I really think our training has gotten a lot more serious since we became Echo Martial Arts, and it's been a really good opportunity for a lot of our students here.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. Love hearing that there is some serious training happening over there. That's what creates those next level competitors and those next level martial artists.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So how often do you train? How often do you find yourself at the studio?
I'm at the studio like 3 times a week. I am here all the time. I train all the time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what are you currently focusing on with your training? Or you're a brown belt, so are we not just working towards competition, but you're working towards that black belt, I'm assuming.
Yes, I am. So hopefully I'll be getting my second tab on my brown belt in May, like
Okay.
this month.
Okay.
And then I'll have one more tab before I can test for my black belt. But I'm also really focusing on preparing for the ISKA the tournament in Florida. I can't remember the name right now, but
okay.
Yeah.
US Open, is that the one you're going to?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's a great tournament. One of these days we'll get our competitors out there, hopefully sooner than later. That's awesome. When is that tournament?
June.
June. Okay, so lots of planning, lots of prep in progress for that.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. So you say you're down there at your studio for 3 days a week training and prepping. Is there anything that you do different when you're prepping for a tournament?
Honestly, I just like to practice as much as I can. I really don't like switching up my schedule right before a tournament because I think it's really important that you're practicing consistently all the time and not just cramming it in right before a tournament.
Absolutely. Consistency is key. That's when you start really going through those milestones and making those huge progression. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that you've got consistency in your training, which takes a lot of dedication and discipline, right? I know there might be some days that we're tired and it's hard to get to the dojo, but it's those real champions that make it there even when it might be difficult or challenging to get there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, it sounds like you've got a good training routine. It sounds like you've got your goals mapped out. And can you tell us any of your training goals besides obviously you're going for that next tab on your brown belt and clearly that's, short-term goals to get to your long-term black belt. Do you have any other training goals?
Right now I'm working on a creative kata, so I really want to compete that in Florida.
Okay, cool. So is that an empty hand or you got a creative kata with your weapons or?
I do have a creative kata with my fans, but this one is just going to be empty hands. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Cool. That's awesome. That's my favorite division. I love creative musical forms and creative non-musical forms. It kind of gives you that freedom to step out of the traditional box a little bit and show some of the other talents and skills that you have. So that's awesome. That's great. I can't wait to see it. Hopefully we'll see you at Congo Karate Tournament in June. I don't know if you've got plans to go, but hopefully we'll be able to get to view that new creative form at that time. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think we're planning on going to that one as a team. So I'll see you
Perfect.
there.
Perfect. Awesome. So let's go ahead and keep moving along here. Who would you say inspires you most? What inspires you to do what you're doing and continue doing what you're doing?
Definitely Gabe Johnson.
Okay.
Definitely. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, I just interviewed another teammate of yours, and he came up as well as a big inspiration. I know he's got a lot of strong qualities when it comes to martial artist, and a lot of strong qualities when it comes to instructing. So that's awesome that you guys have him there to keep you guys motivated and keep you guys inspired.
Yeah. I mean, he started this studio for us. He started this studio because he wanted us to have a better training experience. And for that, I am so grateful to him.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's great. So can you give us a little insight on maybe a challenging moment that you have had at a tournament or say with your own training, just a challenging moment that you faced that you needed to get past?
Well, I graduated yesterday,
Oh,
and so
congratulations.
thank you. But this last tournament, I feel like was really hard for me because I had so much going on and I really didn't have as much time to practice as I would have liked. And so that was kind of a challenge for me. But I mean, even if you don't do well at one tournament, it doesn't define who you are as a martial artist, really. And I think a lot of people take it too hard when they lose. And the thing is, there's going to be another tournament. You're going to be
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we've got a saying here at our school, you win some, you learn some. So those tournaments that you maybe not place, there's always something to take back to the dojo and learn and improve. And so I'm glad you guys are on that same wavelength. That's awesome. So could you, just staying on those same lines, do you have a bit of advice that you would like to pass on to some of our viewers out there, some of those upcoming competitors, or maybe somebody who has had a tough competition or a tough year, and maybe they're considering not competing, or they're not sure if they want to continue competing? You got some advice that you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, I've been competing for a long time. I've been competing for like 8 years, and really I've only started winning in the last like 2. And that was really hard for me, and I'm sure that's hard for a lot of people when you don't place. But the thing is that if you never go and compete against people outside your school, you're never really going to improve beyond what your school has to offer. And while your school like is totally amazing and all of the karate studios have so much to offer, it's so important to me that you like learn other things, that you go and you experience it. And so even if you're not winning, at least you're seeing what other people can do and you're learning from them maybe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can draw inspiration in so many ways. That's some really great advice. So for those of you who are out there watching now, make sure that you guys take that advice and run with it. Coming from a longtime competitor, don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on the goals to continue competing. It will happen, and when those wins happen, it's that sweet victory, right?
Yep.
That's
It's
awesome.
almost better when you lose before you win
Right.
because you know that you pushed yourself and you worked really hard for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. I'm glad you mentioned that. So while competing, you did say that there was a time period where you didn't win, and now you're starting to rack up those awards. Who would you say is a tough competitor? And it could be with sparring, it could be with forms. Who would you say is a tough competitor for you to compete against?
Before she became a black belt, it was Chloe from your studio. Definitely
She's
a very tough competitor.
she's a beast, right? She's one of our most dedicated students. She trains while she was prepping for her black belt, she was training 6 days a week on the floor and 6 days a week at home. She uses her emotions. If she's happy, she trains. If she's upset, she trains. And so it has benefited her well. And it's been awesome that you guys have been competing. So that gave me an opportunity to get a little insight on you and start following you as a competitor, because she was in your division. So here soon, you guys will be competing against each other again. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely. I know she's got she's got some great things to say about you as well. So I love to see that you guys grew as competitors together and are maintaining a friendship, and that's what these are all about. It's not going to these competitions and creating rivalries. It's about creating camaraderie and pushing ourselves to do better and to be better, and just step up the skills to that next level. I'm sure that's something that you can agree with. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, well, I would like to hear a little bit more about you. So I want to know some of your favorites. So what would you say is your most all-time favorite weapon?
Fans. Definitely
Fans?
fans.
Oh, that's so
I've
cool.
been doing fans for a very long time, and I love them.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you do single fan or are you using double fans?
We use double fans.
That's
Yes.
awesome. I think there's a whole nother layer of difficulty when you've got those two weapons in your hands, right?
Yes,
You got to be
for sure.
coordinated left and right. That's awesome. Well, you do a beautiful job with your forms, and that's awesome. Fans are I love to see that they're starting to come back a little bit more, and I know that your school are representing them strong. I know All Star has got a couple competitors that do that, but it's nice to see some weapons that are a little bit more out of the norm, right? You see plenty of bow
Yeah.
staff, you see plenty of commas, you see plenty of nunchucks. So it's nice to see a little bit of variety. So keep pushing those so that we can see some more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So what would you say is your all-time favorite technique or kick
Technique or kick?
or kata? Your favorite thing to do, your favorite technique, kick or kata?
My favorite would probably be Black Tiger, which is the kata I compete with.
Cool. Cool. Okay. It's kind of nice when you compete with something that's your favorite. That passion kind of comes through in that form.
Yep, I
Definitely.
agree.
So what would you say was your favorite division that you've ever competed in?
Sparring.
Sparring?
Definitely.
Like to
Yep, I
fight,
love
huh?
sparring.
So you see yourself doing any teams or any continuous, or are you going to stay with just individual point sparring?
I think I'm gonna stay with individual point sparring.
Okay, awesome. That's great. I gotta say I love me some fighting as well. I love that point sparring as well. So that's awesome. Tournaments. Favorite tournament that you like to go to? That's something that you like to look forward to every year.
Western Wyoming,
That one is a
definitely.
fun one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we just got back from that. And you competed in multiple divisions, if I remember correctly. Uh,
Yes.
let's talk about that a little bit. What are some of the divisions that you competed in?
I competed in traditional kata, traditional weapons, point sparring, and then contemporary or creative musical weapons.
Awesome. How'd you do in those divisions?
Um, I did not do great at this tournament.
It was some tough competition. We had teams from Wyoming, we had teams from Colorado, we had teams from all over Utah. That was a great competition. Now, you say you didn't do that well, but did you go out there and just put everything out on the mat and you did the best you possibly could?
I do feel like I did.
Then to me, that counts as a win, right?
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, graduation was literally yesterday. So I don't know. Sometimes you gotta like balance your stuff, and I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, those senior years can be tough, right? You're trying to get prepared, trying to, get to that next step in that journey. What would be that next step for you now that you're graduated from high school? What is that next step for you?
Next year I'm going to be starting at Slick.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna stay local so you can continue training. You got plans to continue that?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. 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 And then what are some of your competition goals?
I would really like to win grands in this
Okay.
next year.
Okay. Okay. You keep working hard and I'm sure you're gonna get there, right? It's hard to guarantee when that's gonna be, but if you're not working hard, the opportunity never presents itself, right?
Right.
Heck yeah. Well, you've got some amazing instructors at your school. You got some amazing teammates. So, fall back on those guys, take their advice, and I'm sure you're going to get closer and closer with every training session. You're going to get closer and closer to that goal. So that's awesome. That's great. Very good. So that is all I have for you today. Want to thank Nina one more time for spending some time with us today, giving us a little insight on her and her training journey and her competition journey. Thank you so much. I know you're a busy gal. I'll let you get back to what you're doing. Those of you who are out there watching, make sure you keep your eye out on Nina. She's going to come into these next tournaments with force, and definitely want to keep your eye on her and see what she does next. Thank you again, Nina. I appreciate you spending some time with me.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Till the next time. I appreciate you guys all watching.